show you how I go ahead and do my mock budget before I go ahead and put it into my budget planner. So this is excuse me, it's a little dirty, but this is a little traveler's notebook. I got it out of Staples. One day I went in there, it was on sale, and then it came with one of these books, and then I picked up another book like for $5. So this is like the notebook, and for the most part, I usually just pre-plan a lot in this little book. I could carry it and make adjustments whenever I want to. So usually I just go ahead and do my mock budget in here, and then I'll leave it like that. So this is my calendar view for March. The reason why I'm using this is because I like to see my bills laid out for the month while I'll go ahead and do this mock budget. And this is an Erin Condren Deluxe monthly. I'll go ahead and write down all my numbers in here, and then I'll go and put it in here. If it happens to be a mistake in between, then I could go ahead and fix it, but I do like to go ahead and then just pre-plan. As you can see, I'm not finished with this month yet, but I do like to go ahead and do my budget for the next month in that usually the second week, which we're in the second to last week, quote unquote. So I do like to do it around this time, so I have a good gauge of where I'm gonna be for the beginning of the month. So we'll go ahead and get into the video. Again, not into the video, but we'll go ahead and get into the little lesson. If you guys are interested in any of these things that you see here, they are in my shop. The link is in the page. You could go ahead and hit it and check it out. So the first thing that I do is just go ahead and list my income for the month. Now, this mock budget is gonna be a little bit different because we have coronavirus going on, but my job doesn't plan on closing, and April for me is a 5 paycheck period. So I'm gonna go ahead and add up how much my paychecks, how much income I'm gonna bring in for the month. Now, I did get a raise, so I am going to check my last pay stub, because usually, to tell you the truth, I don't really be looking, sis, long as it be looking right when it touched that account. You know, if it look a little less than, then I might be like, hey, yo, what's that? But let me just see if I can remember the password. Oh, I did. Now, as long as we don't close, I'll for the most part be bringing in the same amount of money because I am salary. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add up. Hopefully you can see this. Not that you need to be all up in my business, but we're gonna go with 841 times 5. And that's gonna give me 4205 just off my salary. Now, what's interesting is that usually I'll go ahead and factor in some variable, but I do not budget my expenses around it. I don't budget my expenses around it just because I don't want to account for any money that is not guaranteed, and for right now that is guaranteed. I'll be lazy sometimes. What? Usually I'll go ahead and estimate or try to put a goal to how much I want to go ahead and make in variable income, but okay, before I get rudely interrupted again. I do like to go ahead and just list my expenses. and I write them out. I don't write them out as far as like I list them in the date that they come, basically, which is why I go ahead and use this calendar. And I do like to use the month before calendar because it's already like out. It will go into my April calendar. You'll see that I haven't even did it yet. So I'm just gonna use March just to get it done because my weeks have been out of control. And also I do like to see where my paychecks are going to hit. And that's how I do my paycheck budgets, okay? So my first expense is gonna be my rent. And then I have Fingerhut. And that one is $31.99, I think now. Then we have Capital One, which is $32. I have my Amazon Prime, which is $13.85. I have Credit One, which is $30. I have First Premier, which is $32. I have Chase. I don't know why my pens is acting up, which is back down to $61. It's so great. I have Apple Music, which is $10.85. Then I have iTunes, and I just go ahead and add those up together. It's $27.98. And then we have Hulu, which is $5.99. And then we have my car note. So my car note is split in up to 2 weeks. But the whole total for that is $448. And Marcus is my savings plan that I have. It's 5 weeks this month, and I do go ahead and take $20 out of each check and put it in there. So that's $100 for that. So we have Marcus, and then we have my Metro card, which I put $100 as well. That's $50 for every 2 weeks. I am going back to 5 days, so I think that should be just fine in terms of that. Oh, I almost forgot my cell phone bill, which is 88. Let me see if I have it here. 88.22. Even though they didn't send me a bill, and I don't know if that have to do with like whatever. Then I have my sinking funds, and that's $190. It doesn't change what I stuff, and I do think that's everything. I am just gonna check up against here, which it seems like everything. I have extra bills here, but I paid these off already, like completely, so I don't have to worry about those. So I'm only down to like 3 credit cards, so to speak. So now I'm going to go ahead and add up all my fixed expenses, and that's gonna be $26.31.87. Now, It's important for me to do my fixed expenses first because that's how I figure out how I'm going to calculate, not calculate, but allocate the rest of my funds towards my variable expenses, which that will be my cash envelopes. And I do go ahead and list those over here. And based on the funds that I have, I do go ahead and give or take or minus some things from there. So we're going to take 2631 from 4205, and that leaves me with 1573.13. So now the first thing that I always like to do is just list out my food. I have eaten out, and these are the categories that I have. I have gas, beauty, I have a household fund, I have planning, allowance, laundry, and then I have extra debt payments, which I figure out after I allocate all my funds. And I do think that's it for all my cash envelopes. Yeah, so I only have eight cash envelopes. Now, honestly, I'm not gonna take $1,500 and allocate that in between all of those. I just never do that, but if I do need to add a little extra here and there based on how I spent at the end of the month, last month, I do go ahead and do that. But for the most part, where I have been doing too much at, I honestly don't even need to add any more. It's just that I just need to stop what I'm doing. So that's besides the point. So food for the most part, with Corona and everything going on, I only shop once a month. So whatever I put in here is usually to last for that whole month. Last month I went shopping. I got all like the essentials, so I'm probably not gonna need that much, but I am just gonna give myself $200 because these brats are out of school. And then eating out, I am gonna give myself an extra $50 just because with the coronavirus at work, I'm getting tired of eating that food, and I do plan on meal prepping, so that extra 50 will go towards me meal prepping for lunch. Gas will not change at $60 because I don't go nowhere. So I fill up my tank every 2 weeks, $30 should be good. Beauty, it's gonna stay at 50 because everything is closed. Household, I'm gonna do an extra $25, so we're gonna go at 100. Planning will be at 50 as well. My allowance will be at 75, and laundry will be at 50 again. So I'm going to add that up. And that's gonna give me a total of $685. Now, out of $1573.13, I have left over $888.13. So this is technically what I have left over. I have already set a goal for myself for the next 6 months to put an extra $300 towards my Chase card, because that's the card that I'm trying to get down and pay off. So from 8,813 take away 300, we have 588 left over. And honestly, I do just plan on saving this in my accounts that I already have, and then that will put me down to having left over for the month $0. So basically my salary for the whole month has been planned out for the most part. Now, give or take, some things in between there can change. I'm not gonna have $685 at one time to go ahead and stuff my cash envelopes. That's where my paycheck to paycheck budgeting comes in at, just so I will be able to see when and where I might have the extra money, and I get to plan out when exactly I'm gonna go ahead and do certain things. Now, I do think I didn't miss anything this time, so if I don't do any extra spending, unnecessary spending, or if anything extra doesn't come in and happen, but for the most part, that's what your sinking funds are for. I should be fine, but this is just an overview of how I like to go in and do my budget for the month before I go ahead and put it in my planner. And then I do like to go ahead and start pre-budgeting out my paychecks, just so I can have an outline going in of what it may be looking like, where the pieces may be hitting at. So that's gonna be it for this video today. If you guys have any questions, again, any comments, you can always leave them. We can have a discussion. Let me know what you think about it, or what you do in your budget or your mock budgets before you go and put down your actual budgets. But this is the way that I like to do it. I like to get all my fixed stuff out the way and then see what I have left over, because most of these are on auto pay, so I don't really have a choice of whether I want to go ahead and mix them and put them somewhere else. It just is what it is as far as that. So I will see you on the next one. You can go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed already, where I do go more in depth on certain things. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.